Hey, so welcome to the final episode of my very first sword build. This episode will be from post-heat treat testing to finishing the sword. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy.
All right. So here we go. I'm a little bit apprehensive about this. It's a lot of work so far into this thing, and if it fails, then needless to say, I'm not going to be happy about that. But piece of fat lighter here, that's pretty tough stuff. So let's whack it a few times and see what happens. Again, this is still thick. I haven't put an edge on this thing yet, so it didn't break. Still straight.
Okay, so I have gotten this cleaned up. Bevel's ground. Getting pretty thin out here at the tip. Still pretty thick back here, about 1/8 of an inch on the edge. And I think that's a good thing. You know, if you were really using this and you were really swinging this thing in battle or chopping trees down, whatever, that you'd want some heft there, some meat. So this would be more like a machete type or a bush axe. So it's got some meat to it, and then come down to an edge. I've also decided that because this is the first one, because I want to do some extensive testing of that once it's all done and it's sharpened, I'm not going to concern myself so much with trying to make this really, really pretty. I've got it done pretty well. It's got a fairly good satin finish on it. You know, there's some little scratches here and there. This is not a sword competition. This is a, can I make a sword that won't fall apart when I try to use it? And that's the whole idea. Can I heat treat something this large and do it correctly and have it perform okay? In the event that I need to do that, never know. So, with that, some decisions have been made. The guard is going to be incredibly simple. I'm not going to do anything further to it. I did heat treat it just to harden the guard up so that it wouldn't want to bend. I'm going to throw a little spacer down here at the bottom and just a simple hunk of mild steel that I'm going to thread on at the back. So I need to take this round portion all the way down to here. So I'm going to mark that, and I'm going to thread it because I want to be able to take this back apart. So let's get going. Let's finish this thing. Alright, so I got a piece of, what is that? I don't know. Some kind of wood spacer. I should go with a non-wood spacer, but I'm being lazy. Like I said, in the interest of time and getting this thing done, I want to go ahead and knock this thing out. I'm a little sloppy. I can see the hole there. That's annoying. It's really fucking annoying. Alright, that's the second one of those. The first one I ended up cutting it too wide in the back. I forgot to taper that hole. So now is the time when I can try to square up the top of this. And I can see I got a little bit of a gap.
Take a roll off that side.
That's a good fit. Alright, now that gets us all the way there, so mark where I need to cut my tang off.
I only want to go into this, about halfway or so. So we'll cut the tang off right there. I need to take that rounded section down just a little bit more. I don't know where my mark went.
Alright, we got the hole drilled in my pommel piece. So let's tap it.
Hey, can I call you back a little bit? Alright. I think that'll be enough. Bring them all the way down anyway. You can go all the way through this, because I don't want it to stick out the other side. I've never tapped something that doesn't go all the way through, so not really sure how to tell once you hit the bottom. Oh, well, that's tapped. Let's thread this.
A little work to do. They shaped this up, but that feels pretty good. Oh, so the battery's died on my camera, so I've got limited time, and this is not going past today. Today this will be done. I've shaped up the pommel. It's a little rough. but whatever. So this is how we're going to bed the tang. I'm going to take that piece off and put some Teflon tape on here, because I don't want this epoxy to stick to the sword.
Here we go. Throat piece first. Just gonna put a little around that. So it and the handle will become one piece. It's gonna help fill in a little bit of the gaps in that throat. Even though it's pretty tight fit, the handle is the one that is loose. A little more. And just pour it in. Doesn't seem to be doing all that well. Let's try it like this. Maybe the fit was tighter than I thought. That did pretty good. Now just clean up a little bit. It's done.
Okay, so here's the finished sword. I ended up having to change the pommel on it, because as I went to do my final assembly and screw the pommel back on, I ended up stripping the threads out of the inside of it. The material was really soft. I don't even know. I thought it was just mild steel. I'm not even sure what it was. Luckily I had a piece of brass that was already threaded hanging around from something else, so I went ahead and threw that on there. Here it is. I'll probably replace that later with something a little bit better, but this is it. It's got an edge. Let's test it. So I've got a piece of fat lighter, some random pieces of wood, and then I'm going to have Jillian throw an orange at me. You hold on to that. So edge looks good.
Now it's ready for chicken on.
Hasn't been at all. Tip's good. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go. No, not. Don't throw it at me like a baseball. Underhand. Oh. Yeah. Still a little closer. Stand over there. Go. Yeah. I was going to do a watermelon, but then I was too cheap to buy a watermelon because I didn't have one. There we go. It works. Still in one piece. Thanks. I appreciate you watching this and sticking with me on this video of my first attempt at making a sword. Although it's not all that beautiful, it is functional, it works, and maybe somewhere down the road I'll make another one and try to make, you know, really nice like Damascus blade or something like that, and try to go into some real ornate detail on the handle. But this just took up so much time. I got to get back to making knives, so there you are. Thanks. Subscribe.